He runs diesel engines so they don't go choo-choo. UP trains are yellow and DMEs are blue. Dustin School Railroad, where the railroad comes to you.
Hey guys, welcome back to the layout room. Sorry I have been gone for a while. You know, summertime happens and you kind of start thinking about things to do outside, and the layout takes kind of a back seat. It didn't totally take a back seat the whole time, but I did get a little work done, and we'll bring you up to speed on that in just a little bit. Actually, I got a good chunk of some work done, but there's more to do, and I'll show you here in just a minute, like I said. Another thing too, the videos, I got a little down on YouTube for a little bit there. It was one of those deals of they restricted now I couldn't do any live feeds. I tried to do a live show and they wouldn't let me do it because I don't have 1,000 subscribers because they changed that rule. Wasn't a fan of that. I had done a few lives before, and for quick updates I thought it was really good, but they wouldn't let me do it anymore. So I did put a one or two concerning the project I'm going to show you in a minute on my Facebook page. If you haven't done that, go to Facebook and search Dustin's N-Scale Railroad, and you will find my stuff there as well. But again, I did do some work, got a little down on myself, and I thought, well, YouTube's just going to kind of keep me down, keeping me down. But, I sat and thought about it here, watching It's My Railroad with Steve Brown, and watching Vinny, and seeing Sparky and them guys keep going. And I realized for me, being amongst that community again after taking a summer break, it's not about whether I've got 87 subscribers or I've got 87,000 subscribers. I'm doing this to chronicle what I've been working on and what I'm doing on the broadcast and on the show, and that's what it's supposed to be about the hobby and sharing what I'm doing. So if I get more subscribers, I do. If I don't, well, at least I'm going to put forth what I've been doing. So with that, I am going to now move into what we're doing here and what I did work on this summer when I had some rainy days or some ungodly hot days where I could at least be down in the train room. Well, as you guys can see here, I did some work on the yard itself. I went through and I laid all the track, and I got all the track soldered now all the way up to where it's going to rejoin the main freight line, though I don't have all of it graveled and ballasted yet. But down here towards the train yard, and I still got to lay these wires down. It's a long way to go. But I did go through and go and paint these, weather the track some, and then I glued down my gravel. Now there will be some dirt put in there yet. There'll be some more weathering and some more work done there. I put up a little bit of a fence there, a frame. I still got to figure out what I'm going to use for mesh in there. But anyway, I did go through and I just took some sifted gravel, actually sand. I took some landscaping sand from Home Depot, and I sifted it down into two grades. I have a heavier, coarser grade over there in that cheese ball bucket right over there. But I got that down to a finer caliber here, and that's what I put on here, and I weathered it. Now someone did ask me on one of my posts why I didn't line these all up, but I'm looking at, sometimes you may have train cars parked here, you may have a gap, so forklifts and stuff are going to go around wherever. It's mostly like forklift traffic in between these rails, for loading things, and mostly pedestrian traffic going through anyway, so it really doesn't matter to me. It's my railroad, I wanted to do that's my rule. But that's what I've got so far. A little bit of the gravel needs to be worked on, but there'll be some overgrowth and some shrubbery there put in. I'm going to wear some of this down and sand some of this down yet, because this is basically what it's going to be, is like the access road for the trucks that do come down here. We'll be able to go between these lines because, as you know, if you've been watching in the past, this line here goes back into the brewery complex. But as you can see right now, the brewery is not here. The brewery's over on the workbench. Right over there, because I've got a little bit more, if I can get it to focus. She doesn't want to focus. There she is. I got a little bit of tweaking to do. That roof on that long building right there keeps popping off constantly on the long part of that freight building, the low part of the connector building. It keeps popping off, and I've re-glued I don't know how many times. It's driving me dippy. But then I've also got to fix the base on there. But what I've got here is the frame, because what I intend to do is make some concrete. This is going to be hard road coming in from the yard. It's going to transition from gravel to a concrete, and there's going to be a split there. Why? Like business traffic and people that work at the brewery will come down here and then park by the brewery. There'll be a parking lot, which I use my cars. I use Micro Machine cars in N-Scale. And so coincidentally, if anybody's got Micro Machines to get rid of that aren't N-Scalers, if you want to get rid of them, let me know. But, and then I'm going to have this be like over here, this side here, I got to find my finger, be the truck entrance. And so that's what I'm going to do there. But I ran into a little snag here because this is going to be like grass and some plant area and make it look really nice like you would for a place of business. The problem is I've been using these strips of basswood. Here, I'm going to pull one over here. I've been using strips of the 16th inch thick basswood. And I've just been cutting it to make the squares. And what I'm doing is I'm putting the frames, here, zoom out, that'll make it better. I'm putting the frames here so the building will actually sit on the outside. This is going to the outside of the building's edge because I want the pavement to go up a 16th inch thick. So when I set the building down, it'll sit down into that concrete just a little bit. And then it'll look better. That way, if I've got any gaps underneath, it'll hopefully be enough that if I don't catch them with some putty, that I will be able to at least hide some of the light coming out the bottom. But it also look like the foundation that way. I've still got one piece here where the steps come off, but that's a little easy piece to do. But what I also had problems with is getting these curves. Basswood doesn't flex around curves very well. Now I could maybe straighten it out, but I don't want just straight, I don't want just straight 90-degree turns on this. I want it to look like a normal road would. And I mean, on a normal road, this thing would go in there. On a normal road, you won't have that happen. You know, it'll curve and it'll flow where it's ease. So what I did do is buy a couple of these 16th inch thick styrene strips, a little more flexible. I got two different thicknesses because I got the .188 mil, or 4.8 millimeter, I should say. And I thought in case that doesn't flex the way I want it to, I went and got some. Next thinner they had was 1.156 mil. And so, or not 0.156 mil, I keep saying that, but it was a 0.156 inch. And so hopefully that'll be a little more bendable. I'm going to try that and see if it works. But then what I'm going to do is there's going to be concrete driving area here on this side of the building as well. And then it'll come across and there'll be a highway going off into wherever else my life goes on to from the brewery. What I'm going to do is fill it in. I'm going to try using some of this right here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be planning to use. I thought I brought it over before the video, and I apologize I didn't. Is this, some DAP Painter's Putty 53. I've had good luck with it. I used it. You can't tell that's how good a job it did. If you come over to a place like right here, it's kind of hard to see, but I painted that. I filled the seams in between the foam board because the table's split right here. But I wanted to have a spot where it looked continuous. So I filled in all the holes and everything I had. And I had a lot of holes in some of these spots that I filled in with painter's putty. And then when it dried, painted right over the top, and there was never a problem. It worked really well. And so I'm going to try that. We're going to go along on that journey and see where it goes. So that's what I'm working on there. Alright guys, so as you can see here, I cut it a little short and didn't make you watch the whole thing, but now I've got my forms up. These are all 1/16 of an inch. There's a little bit of a change here. I couldn't make the corner that square, but I used the 156 inch or the 4 millimeter stuff here, the more narrower stuff that I had. That seemed to be flexible enough and bent enough, and it did exactly what I needed it to do. But basically, as you can see now, we're ready to go, and we're going to start paving here in just a moment. Okay, guys, so before we start, I did have a slight change in plans, and I'm going to let you know what I'm doing. The original plan, I showed you this earlier, was this Painter's Putty 53. That's what I was going to use. Like I said, I used it before in the cracks on the foam board, and it pushed in great. It dried well. It was easy to work with, very easy to work with. And I'm going to stand by my recommendation of this product. It's really good. But before I shot the part of putting the actual pavement down, I tested it out in just one of the small areas off the corner on the part of the road that goes off. And don't get me wrong, it was a little dry, so I added a little water and pushed it around. But the problem was getting it got too dry. There's some hard chunks in here, but also the fact is it didn't smear into place. I mean, you're looking at it right now, it's a putty. It's not a compound. So again, I'm probably going to get rid of this pretty soon, to be completely honest, because I don't need it anymore, and it's starting to dry out. And I may keep it, I don't know, it's $1.50 or $2 at Menards for me. So it really isn't, I'm not out a lot if I don't get to use it anymore. My plan was to keep it around for doing the roads, but it's not the right consistency. In fact, I laid it out and I smoothed it out. And as I was pulling it away with the putty knife to try to smooth it out, it started peeling off. And so I just grabbed the hold of it, and it peeled off and rolled off clean. And so you don't want that. So what I did do is go and get some of this USG plus 3 joint compound. There are other brands out there. I could have gotten a different brand. It was actually a little cheaper too where I got this at Menards. 11% off rebate. I love that week. But I went with this stuff because I used to work in a lumber yard before I got into radio. And the sheetrock guys, we had both different products in there. And the sheetrock guys, the professional sheetrock guys, always came and got the big boxes of this. So I thought for $5 for a gallon of it, I wasn't going to complain. So now we're going to go ahead and get to the paving part. So stay tuned. Hey guys, she hasn't been on much on this episode, but she's still here, the magic unicorn, now with better sight. Yep, she had to go get glasses, which is perfect when you're working with N-scale, right? Being able to see better. So say hi to everybody. They haven't seen you for a while.
Hello.
So are you looking forward to helping Dad pave?
Yeah.
Get all messy?
I'm looking forward to my birthday.
Yes, her birthday's coming up about 2 days after we're shooting this right now. So how old are you going to be? Like 6?
11.
11. The unicorn's getting bigger. All right, we're going to get to the puttying now. All right, so we're starting here on this part with the road that leaves town. And I got myself the putty, or the joint compound. As you can see, it's a nice soft consistency. There's the camera. It's a nice soft, marbly, puddly consistency. Puddly? That's a word. Puddly. Yep, puddly. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some of that. I don't know if I need that much, but we're going to scoop some of this in. And we're going to scrape it off to the side. And we're going to go ahead and just start working our way towards the road. I just got to find my piece of wood here that I want to use to try to keep it away from the tracks as much as I can. But we want to work it in to the mold because I don't want to be scraping putty off the sides too much. And we'll just go ahead, and I think I got too much in here. To be completely honest, I'm pretty sure I do have too much in here. So I'm going to need to get the bucket down underneath. And this is a work in progress, people, so just kind of follow along and see what we end up getting here. Everybody, so that's where we're at right now. We've got some work done here. You're going to see some of these ridges coming around there. Those will sand off eventually, and that's our plan. Right here by I put a little more of a ramp there. I put it thicker there, I should say, so I can make a ramp, so I can make a grade crossing there. And I got to get some of this off, which will be a good job for the unicorn, I believe. But that's the plan right now, and so thanks for following along with us as we've been putting this pavement on. Hopefully, this is not the only way of doing it. There's a lot of videos out there, and a lot of them have been made just recently. I'm seeming to find out a lot of model railroaders on YouTube are at the same position I am right now in their layouts. But hopefully this works for you. This is what's worked for me. Unicorn, anything you want to add up?
Like this video if you liked it, and also like it if you like my new glasses, and subscribe down below if you haven't already, and comment down below what you want to see next, and if you have a layout, and
What you're doing on it?
And yeah, what you're doing on it, and comment down below some more like ideas for laying the concrete thingamabob, and so we can try different techniques.
All right, sounds good. Well, guys, thanks for playing along. We'll see you again soon.
Bye.